Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to another episode of Dope Chats with Stretch. That's me, author, radio personality, lover of all good things, cigars, wine, women.
Oh,
okay.
Like it.
Now, I ain't really
Stats,
kidding,
baby.
but you know what I'm saying? But, tonight I wanted to do something very special and meaningful in the sense of this month of May is a mental health awareness month. And I know a lot of folks out there have been struggling, especially during this period of time that we're going through with this pandemic. A lot of people are at wit's end. They are tired and frustrated of being in their house. They're tired and frustrated of their life being restricted. And mental health is a big issue. And I wanted to bring on a brother who I know is very, very keen and just in depth when it comes to mental health, but also health and wellness. And with that being said, I want everybody to put their hands together for a good brother right here. He's a fellow music head such as myself. He's been in the game for a long, long time. He's the regional promotions director for RCA Records. I want you all to show some love to my man, Akil Taffe. What's up, fam? How you doing, man?
We good. Thanks for having me, Stretch G, man. I appreciate what you're doing here, man.
Man, thank you. And I wanted you to be on tonight, man, because being that we are in this first week of May and it's mental health awareness month, I wanted you to come on because I know that you're doing so many great things as being a yoga instructor. You are a yogi. And how long have you been practicing yoga, man?
Practicing, maybe because I got my teacher training certificate in December of 2014. So I probably have been practicing maybe about 4 years prior, but not anything super consistent.
Right.
It was just, once a month and that whole bit. So it wasn't anything super consistent. Yeah.
So what prompted you to get into it?
Well, I've always been skinny with muscles, right?
Yeah, I know that.
As I gotten older, I realized the importance of stretching. And I'm dating myself, but I popped in, some time ago, a VHS of Ali McGraw yoga VHS. I said, you know what? I'm gonna try this out. It's just supposed to doing some stretches that I remember from football and that whole bit. Let me go ahead and try this yoga VHS out.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I finished it, first of all, it was difficult, and then it felt like I took one to the head. It felt like, it felt different. I was like, well, because exercising anyway, you release certain endorphins and it gives you that natural high.
Right.
Yoga just kind of did that on 100,000 trillion.
Right.
Yeah. And then once I began to learn about the poses and the benefits of the poses. So I was like, you know what? I started slowly but surely getting addicted.
Mm-hmm.
And what prompted me to teach was, you know what? I wanted to share with people who look like me.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with you taking and learning and mastering your skills, like what are some of the benefits that you can tell the folks out here as far as how impactful practicing yoga can be for the body?
I do. Yoga, first of all, it predates any form of exercise,
mm-hmm.
except maybe running, because running, that's how people travel. But other than that, yoga is basically moving and breathing. A more technical term is yoga is the journey of the self, through the self, to the self. So I like to tell a lot of my brethren and a lot of my people, like, don't get caught up in being able to put your leg behind your head, because I still can't do that.
Right.
But when you begin to learn how to mindfully move and mindfully breathe, I mean, it makes you feel amazing. And you begin to learn so much about yourself. Like, I'm really getting deeper and deeper into the science of breathing.
Right.
Breath work, that inhalation and exhalation, I mean, you can release toxins through exhalation.
Mm-hmm.
Proper breathing helps to slow down the brain's aging process. So, I mean, just that product it's the gift of life,
right?
Because you can live for a while without food,
right?
You can live a while without water, maybe less than food, But breathing, once you start breathing, that's it.
That's it. It's a wrap.
That is it. That is it.
So in essence, yoga is more than just putting on some nice yoga pants and walking around the grocery store.
That's, no lie, that's when I realized I caught the yoga bug.
Right.
When I didn't pay attention to the yoga pants. You know, yeah. That's what I was like, wow, I'm feeling this. You know what I'm saying? and you know, it's something to be said, just again, to mindfully move. Like now, I notice people's gait, like their GAIT. Mm-hmm. Like, man, I wish my man would just roll his shoulders down his back so he can sit upright a little bit. Like, I'm noticing little things like that. And I mean, it makes you feel amazing, man.
Man, you calling me out, man. I got to sit up straight, man.
I mean,
like
but again, it's just something to think about, though.
Right.
It's just something to think about, proper posture.
And it's funny that you say that too, because I think as we get older and throughout we lose a sense of, you know, the proper way of sitting, proper way of standing and walking. You start to see people hunch and all that stuff, like especially as they get older, which causes shrinkage.
And that's Western culture too. That's why we have a lot of problems with in our back in Western culture. We're hunched over. We're here. Cultures where they carry things on their head, where they're forced to carry laundry, food, water on their head, they have little to no back problems because they have proper posture. They're upright. Right. And it's not sticking your chest out. You know, it's just standing up tall with a natural curvature in the spine.
So let's talk, because let's get back to talking about just the proper techniques of what people can do to help, I guess, in essence, alleviate some of the stress and unwarranted stress, I should say, that people are receiving right about now during COVID-19 with the pandemic. Because with mental health, a lot of people just need to, and I'm not saying that because like I know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm just from the standpoint of just watching people's, you know, mentality and how things have altered them. Is proper techniques as far as breathing exercises or meditation and things of that nature, couldn't those be some proper techniques for them to put into their daily regimen to help alleviate some of that unwanted stress?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know, exercising makes people feel better. You know, the proper nutrients make people feel better. When we're putting garbage in our system, and again, I'm unlike you, I don't subscribe to a proper diet, but I believe in a well-balanced meal. I'm no stranger to a meatless meal. Right. You know, as human race, we need to decrease our consumption of meat, bottom line. Bottom line. I don't know about zero, but we consume too much meat. And what you begin to fuel your body with, you know, you reap the benefits and the results. Like, I can tell when I'm eating proper because I don't feel as sluggish. And, you know, I can also tell the difference between when my body is fueled and when my body is full. Right. You get a big steak and it's like, oh, you want to go to bed. Right. But you get you some, you know, some vegetables, some real carbs and that little bit. You feel like, you know what? You feel energized because that's what food is really for. It's to fuel you, not to kind of make you lethargic and that whole bit. Right. Different exercises, breathing techniques. I mean, like I said, with the breath, you really have to be careful because, you know, a meditative coach will be like, you know, he a purist, but the power in the pause, you know, because like my man, the young man that got killed, they got murdered in Georgia, right, end of February. I first caught wind of that maybe end of last week. Dude, my son will be 18 May 25th. Right. So that, like, the last couple of days, that is really taking its toll on me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I have to, like, even be, you know, mindful myself. You know, let's just pause, you know, step away from the desk, get away from the computer, and just, you know, simple inhalation and exhalation. You know, a more guided approach. I can offer a more guided approach, but I will say one thing: with breathing, we have to learn, particularly in Western culture, and I don't want to get too off into the weeds, but when you're breathing, your stomach expands on the inhalation and it contracts on the exhalation. It's more low into your diaphragm, not in your chest and your shoulders. Right. But I would say for like a novice or what have you, and that's no disrespect, but just pause and breathe. You know, and you have to take it upon yourself to develop certain habits. Get up and go walk you know, in the morning,
Right.
2-3 times a week or every day. Maybe if you're ready, maybe go jogging. I mean, you know, when we're in the zone, we're doing the proper things for our body responds.
Right.
Our body responds. And when we're not, it responds too, oftentimes negative. So, yeah.
So I want to say what's up to everybody who's joining us right now.
Yeah, I see quite a few of my peoples.
There's a lot of names up there. So what's up, Pork Chop? What's up, Kadri? I want to shout out everybody, but you know, press for time can't do all that because I want y'all to get enlightened with my man Akil. So Akil, let's talk about if a person really wants to get into yoga. What are some of the first steps they can do? Because I know there are many different varieties of yoga.
Absolutely.
I remember when I was living in LA, I took up Bikram and I did that hot box, yo.
Bikram, yeah.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Bikram, he is one of the he's leading he's led the movement here in the States.
Right.
Bikram yoga. And what that is the same postures in the same sequence, and he used the same verbiage.
Right.
And it's in anything from like 104 to 108 degrees.
Right.
And again, we have to give him props because he was the forefather. He was the champion of exploring bringing it to the West. But I do a beginner session every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on my Facebook and IG Live. You're welcome to join. And the Thursdays are particularly geared toward beginners. Mm-hmm. But I would say, I also have a YouTube page, but I would also say, you know, maybe because we can't go to a yoga studio now, and some people's they had a fear of going into a studio. You know, man, I'm not flexible. That was the thing. Man, I ain't flexible enough to go to you know, to practice yoga. Well, bro, that's why you come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To get flexible.
Practice
I would
makes
say,
perfect, bro.
you know, start off it with YouTube, and whether it's a 5, 10, 15-minute beginner sequence for a particular part of the body, or just a breathing sequence. I mean, dude, we can learn to build a home from YouTube. We can learn to fix a car on YouTube. I would say start on YouTube, and it will take you a little while to get used to somebody who their vibe, their voice, you know, their whole deal. So you might have to explore a couple of them until you find somebody that suits you. But look, 9 a.m. in the morning, I'm doing it on Conscious Crusades Facebook page and also my IG Live. You know, it's free. It'll be like 30, 40 minutes. And again, I do beginners. I focus on beginners on Thursdays.
That had a comment up there. Young lady said, as a plus size woman, she's learned to learn her body.
Is that my girl Donnie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you know, she's been to a couple of my functions, and I mean, but again, she's plus size, but she is comfortable in her skin. She's beautiful. She glows. Actually, she and I, we were trying to put together a plus size series for, you know, plus size women. We didn't get around to it, but that's something that I've been considering, you know, coming up once we can get out this pandemic.
Right.
But yeah, dude, when you get comfortable in your body moving and breathing, I mean, it's just an amazing feeling. And again, yoga is for everybody. We have to get out of the mindset that it is for skinny blonde women. Mm-hmm. It is just that they are not the only yogis. I think my girl Savvy Saber, she's in here. She's from India. And I've learned differences from how they practice in India and how it is over here. So yeah, it is a beautiful practice. And her practices I've seen, they're amazing, gentle practices. Mm-hmm. So they're all different types of variations of yoga. And I do want one thing, yoga is not a workout. It is a work in. Mm. You will develop some strength. You will develop some flexibility. You will learn a little more about yourself. That's why we like to refer to it as a work in. Okay. You know, the abs, the quads, and that whole bit, that's just a fringe benefit. But the way you feel and the quality of life, yeah, it's amazing, man.
That's what's up, man. And I think with the fact that, again, I want to bring back and stay on topic as far as with the mental health, with the mental health. Yeah. I know for like at my job, we have those weeks where we'll get together in a conference room and we'll do, you know, meditation. We'll meditate. We'll work on our breathing and stuff like that because, you know, outside of radio, you know, I also work for the federal government, and it's crazy, bro. There's a lot of stuff that just make you be like, I can't So having that health and wellness aspect is important to like you said, is important to the body, because if you start to neglect it, that's when you'll start to see all these different things start to just fall off.
And that's also
everything is triggered.
Yeah, and that's also what yoga also helps you to acquire some emotional intelligence. You know, because when you begin to learn more about your body, you realize, okay, you know what? This person in that department, every time they send me an email, I know it's gonna come with some tone. And instead of me reacting like I will, like getting, you know, pissed off, I gotta go to the car and smoke a cigarette, or I gotta, you know, rant to my boss or call my spouse or whatever. You know what? Just, you understand, you know what? That's how they are. I know the email is coming. So let me begin to take back some of this power and just control how I respond to it.
Right.
Yeah.
How important is it for, like, in the morning time, or I guess any given time, to just take that time to close your eyes, like you said, inhale, exhale, and just kind of bring your heart rate down a little bit and just relax?
I am trying to develop a daily, you know, I do it more often than not, but I'm trying to develop a daily practice. But I look at, and we'll call it, I guess, I look at meditation as a rebooting of the self. You know, sometimes with your computer, you gotta reboot, you gotta turn it off, unplug it, that whole bit, count to 10 before you plug things back up. Right. That's what kind of breath work and meditation is. So it is incumbent upon me and, you know, you, us, everybody out there, it's incumbent upon us to take some time for ourselves, whether it's 3, 5, 10, 12 minutes. It is important for us to take some time take some time for ourselves before we give ourselves to the world.
Yeah.
So it'll do nothing but benefit you. And I've also begun to learn, and this is just from, you know, different philosophies and meditative philosophies and Far Eastern philosophies with Bruce Lee. Like, it's important to take some time for yourself and to develop discipline. Like, there needs to be certain things that you're doing to have a more productive life. Right. You know, we're encouraged to, you know what, write things down before you go to bed, or develop a schedule. So that way, when you get up, you own the day as opposed to the day owning you.
Yeah, that's right. Butterfly Love 41 says meditation is rebooting of the cells.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it, because you know, the power in the pause, man. Like, I've taught in a federal correctional facility, right? And what I kind of got from the guys, like, when you begin to develop some emotional intelligence, if somebody goes in your mail where before you would have had to touch them, you know, you would have had to. Now you may have some tools to be like, you know what, just stay out my way.
Right.
You know, after you find out he's been in your mail, and you can go and maybe count to 20 before you do something to get you a ticket. It's like, you know what, just stay out my way, bro. And practicing with them in a correctional facility, it was the same differences in the yoga studio, as in Earth Treks, as in, you know, I mean, the camaraderie, the energy. I mean, you got brothers in there smiling and that whole bit. You know, some days when I wasn't able to show up, they missed me. Man, bro, where was you at, Akil? So it was just dope to see how well they received me, the response.
Let's talk more about, because we was talking earlier today, let's talk about the misconception, especially for Black men, on about practicing yoga. Like, why don't tell the listeners out there why it's important, especially for Black men, why it's important for us to kind of take this in and be receptive to it.
Well, it's important for everybody, but particularly us. I mean, we know the trials and tribulations and the stresses that we have upon us. We already know. We know. So, I mean, it's a prehistoric practice. It's, for the most part, once you can, it's not that costly. And it's just incumbent upon us to do other things to help to give us some emotional intelligence so we can deal with certain things, as opposed to drinking, drugs, alcohol, beating our wife, gambling, that whole bit. Like, it's just an amazing concept and an amazing practice, again, to help foster some emotional intelligence. And again, it's not to say that everything is perfect. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't all airy and fairy. But when you have the tools, you just can recognize a lot more. You know what? All right, let me just calm down, because this ain't going to be nice. So you know what? I'll call them back, or I'll, you know, just walk away.
So let's any advice that you will give to someone out there who may be struggling right now, that may be going through it, whether it be, unemployment from the pandemic, or family members who may be sick, or just the just disappointed in the fact that they're restricted to their house. Any advice that you give anybody?
Initially talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, we have to. Social media isn't a bad thing. We have to use social media the correct way. You can access bull or you can access nourishment.
Right.
And there are all types of hotlines. There are all type of wellness thought leaders. I got taught that this week. I'm a wellness thought leader.
Right.
Like we are out there. The information is out there. I can scroll on my feed and find different tips and that whole bit, and and everybody's into it now. Like even the hip hop community. Mm-hmm. Styles P, him and his wife have a juice bar, Pharmacy for Life, up in New York, and
right.
That's their Instagram, Pharmacy for Life. And dude, it's a myriad of information on herbs, real food, that type of thing. So it's just a matter of access. Talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. That's where it starts. Reach out. Because you may not have the tools or even know how to meditate. Because to begin to breathing, like I say, breathing is a real technical thing. Even though we do it involuntarily, it's really technical. You can maybe, access a breathing coach, and you can do that through YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can YouTube, tools to combat stress. They will probably give you some meditation. They'll give you some yoga poses. There might be some different foods you can eat, and that whole bit. Because again, it's all in what we're feeding our bodies.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because like I know when I first started to dabble in just trying to calm this down as far as with meditation and breathing, I jumped on some of those apps and from my phone. I think the first one I used was Insight Timer, which I still use that for sleep meditation, because I have problems at night with insomnia, and so I put that on. Next thing you know, I'm out, and it's probably like some of the best sleep ever. Okay. But I had to learn, because I think going forward and starting in the very beginning, when I was doing the meditation, just in general, I got so relaxed, man. It made me sleepy, and so
when you first started.
Yeah, when I first started, because I guess I was still just trying to understand, like, to clear my mind in the sense of,
Right.
Yeah, but it got me to the point where like I was tired.
Well, that's pretty dope, because a lot of times, man, I mean, to meditate when you first start, that can be challenging, because to be still, like it is so hard for us as humans to be still, particularly over in Western culture. It's so hard for us to be still.
And to clear your head.
Yes, but what we have to learn when you're meditating, right? We call it the monkey mind. Mm-hmm. When you begin, and you should focus on the breath. So when things like, my laundry, my texts, when you begin to start thinking about those things, the goal is to not suppress them.
Right. You
acknowledge them, digest them, and when you focus on the breath, eventually they'll float away.
Okay.
They'll float away. And even with me meditating, like when I first started, it was 4 minutes and it was a little difficult. Now I can meditate 15 minutes with no problem. My average is 10 minutes. Wow. And some days when I meditate, it's like, I'm looking at the clock and it goes by fast. Some days when I meditate, it's like, man, it's over with, because I was in the zone and I was in it. You know what I'm saying? So it will be different from time to time, but one thing that yoga teaches us is non-attachment. Just acknowledge, oh, wow, that was kind of difficult. Like I was jumpy on that one. And don't beat yourself up. I was jumpy on that one. We'll see what happens the next time I go to reboot.
Hey, let's talk about, so I know you say you teach classes on your Facebook channel, your Facebook page and
Instagram. Yeah.
Do you have any plans or any aspirations to opening up your own yoga studio?
You know what? I've thought about that. But honestly, my people, I'm grateful that they're receptive to it. Mm-hmm. But that's part about it. Being receptive to it is one thing. Coming and practicing is another. Right now, my focus isn't more or less to go into a situation where I need to be paying for overhead. Mm-hmm. So I can begin to galvanize a fan base, a following through my socials. Mm-hmm. Eventually, what I want to do is wellness festivals. Mm. We in the music, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and The hip hop community is open to it now. You got Rick Ross with Ross Fit. You got Nori doing 5Ks. You got like it's a thing now. Like wellness is fortunately it's part of pop culture now.
Yeah.
I'm saying tastemakers are into it now. Like you couldn't have a conversation with somebody 5 years ago talking about they were vegan. Now, man, what you vegan, man? Whatever. What a chicken, what a steak. Now when you say vegan, it's like, for real, like, so what should I start? What should I cook? What do you eat? Do you know? Now they're more interested in it. You know, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think this pandemic, that will accelerate that. That will accelerate, the pendulum change because, now we got brothers talking about black seed oil, which is a beautiful thing. My father Jamaican, so I've always been drinking Irish moss, but as I've gotten older, sea moss without this, the nutmeg and all that in it. I mean, I did my first batch of sea moss 2.5 years ago, where I bought it raw, put it in the blender. We'll sit it out overnight in spring water, let it expand, put in the blender, and grind it up, and it has the texture of applesauce.
Yeah,
but it's a hint of the ocean. But somebody said if you boil it, it will remove that smell of the ocean. So. And again, that's nothing about wellness. It's an ongoing learning process.
Right.
It's an ongoing learning process.
And it's true. It's facts, man. Because now more and more people are becoming receptive. They're becoming knowledgeable. Now, and for me, like when I went vegan off the fact of with me being a diabetic. I wanted to see how it would affect my A1Cs and everything like that. But I'm just seeing now everybody, is jumping on and I wouldn't necessarily say the bandwagon. It's good because if everybody wants to live righteously and have a more healthier outcome to themselves, more power to you. Let's make it happen.
Exactly.
Because I think the more the merrier in a sense. Because I want to go back to one point that you were talking about in the essence of eating meat. I think a lot of times people don't realize that once you bite into that beef, that chicken, that pig, or whatever, you're also digesting the anxiety and the stress that the animal went through when it was killed. So
you are absolutely. And again, I do eat meat, but I'm more mindful of my level of consumption. But when you think about it, like it's a dead animal. You're eating a dead animal.
Right.
So it is one of those. Like I said, I still eat it from time to time, not as much.
Right.
But, and again, I'm the type, I don't want to be put into a box. Somebody was like, so what is it? Is it, I guess it is a well-balanced, plant-based, not plant-exclusive. Then another one of my friends of mine, she's like, no, Akil, you're plant-forward. I'm like, So it's just, put like this, 80% fruits and vegetables.
Right.
On your plate.
80%
fruits and vegetables. There it is. Get your carbs, and if you got to get some animal protein, in moderate, but 80% fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
That's
good, man. Any other advice that you
flexitarian?
Flexitarian.
Flexitarian, yeah.
Any other joints that you want to drop on the folks out there, man? Especially because I really want people to take to heart and be mindful of the aspect of, with May being Mental Health Awareness Month. Like you said, it's important for you to talk to somebody out there. It's important for you to take care of your body. It's important for you to take care of your mind and not let all the ongoings that's happening outside of your house interrupt what's going on up in here and your vessel. Because once this is gone, that's a wrap.
And again, stress is the precursor to a lot of our ills. A lot of our ills. I will say, it's about attachment too. We have to realize I'm not religious, but it was not promised that it would be hard, that it wouldn't be hard, but it was promised that we'd be able to deal with it. You can deal with whatever comes your way. I think we need to, when I was in teacher training, Ken Manfredi said this thing about attachment. And we have to learn to be non-attach ourselves. When you get to your lowest lows, don't stay there. When you get to your highest highs, appreciate it. But hey, it continues. It's for instance, like and the analogy she gave, if it's raining, right? It's not just raining on you. Like everybody in your area is getting. So when you're depressed, as opposed to saying I'm depressed, say, you know what, this is depression. You know what I'm saying? Because that way you don't own it. This is depression, and when you approach it like that, you know what, I'm not gonna be depressed forever.
Right.
You know, but this is depression. I'm experiencing it. I have to go through it, and you know what? I won't be depressed forever. So it's really about non-attachment. But we have to utilize, again, I'm a fan of social media, but we have to make sure that we're accessing mental nourishment, mental and spiritual nourishment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, if your girl or your homie who always flashing a rollie and that whole bit, if that incenses you or have you feeling some type, like me with Facebook, because I get off into my politics. I'm an independent, but it's vote blue or die with me. So sometimes, like, I don't even feel like dealing with them today, because a lot of times that's what they want to do, trigger. Oh, Trump is the best. Okay, well, all right, cool. So it's just a matter of your response, man, and non-attachment.
And it's funny that you mentioned that too, man, because I think a lot of times we find ourselves in precarious situations where we let the depression eat at us.
Yes.
And I remember when I was going to my therapist at the time, she asked me, I kept on saying, I'm depressed. She said, no. She's like, you're not depressed. You might be sad. She's like, I've seen depressed. Because, you know, a lot of times we just get overwhelmed with emotions that will put us in a place where we'll be down for a couple days, whatever like that. But, you know, from the standpoint of what she was trying to explain to me as far as like depression, that's when people are in it and it takes them a long time to get out of it. So I had to like stop, you know, thinking like, oh, I'm sad.
Yeah. But again, and then that's a different mindset. A lot of I'm depressed, you know what? Or not even necessarily I'm sad. This is sadness.
Yeah, it's a sadness.
Because Akil has experienced sadness too. Akil has experienced depression too. And you know what? It's great that you mentioned that you went and talked to a therapist. Because I went and talked to a therapist before. We have to begin to pull the wool, like peel back the covers.
Right.
Because once you come clean, you realize that, you know what, you're not the only one. Oh shit! You didn't talk to a therapist, dude. I didn't sit on the congruent counselor's couch as well. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you realize you're not alone once you become, you know, revealing and vulnerable.
And
you know
I'm a true advocate in the sense of, and
Quick in the building.
Yeah, what's up, Quick? Oh snap, Quick. That as a black man, and even not even just from being a black man, as just as us as being black. In general, we have a lot of stuff that has been put on us from generation to generation, and we don't even know it.
We carry it, not even.
We carry it,
not even know.
You gotta talk to somebody, man. You gotta talk to somebody, because it's always good to sit there on someone else's couch or chair, whatever the case may be, and unleash all that stuff, man. Because you're getting an unbiased opinion from somebody, but it's also beneficial for you to just express whatever is on your mind and what's on your
heart. Get it up out of you. You got to get it up out of you. And then once you get it up out of you, you realize that, you know, I'm going to be okay.
Right.
Because people can be like, they're going to support you. And I'm a firm believer. When you begin to walk in your purpose, the universe has a way of just like I say, dude, before when I was first practicing yoga, it made me feel great. I wasn't necessarily sharing it. And then I started sharing. A couple of my buddies like, man, what's that shit you doing? Now fast forward, they're like, man, dude, the doctor told me I need some of that yoga stuff. Can you send me some poses? You know what I'm saying? So it's when they see you walking in your true north, the universe has a way with, giving you the tools. Not necessarily guarantee you're gonna be super rich and get paid, but it will give you the tools to journey on.
Right. Hey, everything ain't got to be monetary, man. Your soul can be rich.
Yes.
As long as your soul and your mind is rich.
Yes.
You already have the abundance that you already need, man.
Absolutely. And it's great that we're getting beyond that as well. We're getting beyond that as well. Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned about sharing. What's up, Albert? That you talking about sharing, because it's like I think it was like last week when I put out on Facebook, just randomly asking who is doing fitness, who's doing something, because I wanted everybody out there to see that, so that they can take it upon themselves to reach out or go and be a part of what's going on out there. So you're not sitting at home just being lethargic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm glad that you brought that up, man.
Yeah, we're trying. Yeah, it's and you know what? This pandemic, as tragic as it is, there are a lot of silver linings that are coming. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people now are, you know, into, you know, they're going back to the beginning, you know, with herbs and doing natural healing and different Ayurvedic and holistic practices.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're Dr. CV on steroids now, which is a great thing.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Man, this is awesome, man. This has been enlightening. It's been very, very forward thinking. I appreciate everything that you've bestowed upon myself and then everybody else out there as well. One more time, let them know where they can follow you and when they can be a part of your yoga session.
Well, you can follow me right here at Conscious Crusade. I also have a Conscious Crusade community Facebook page. On Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a beginner's sequence. 45 minutes max. I'm thinking of a new name because I call them quarantine flows, but for my Thursdays, I might be calling it, I don't know, the startup or beginner flows. Because I think it's beginner. And you know, it's kind of challenging because I can't see people.
Right.
So I'm going super slow. Then after, so, yo, when you did that, that was too much. Or my sister like, you need to do a baby beginning. I'm like, good God. But it's different because I can't see people. So I'm going to slow it down even more. But again, 9 a.m. right here, Eastern Standard Time, we doing it. And if you follow me now, it's also in this story too. So
bet. You should call it the prelude, man. You know what I'm saying? The prelude.
Okay. Prelude. I was thinking about that.
The prelude, man.
Let me see how that flows. I'm gonna live with that.
Yeah. Let it marinate a little bit, brother.
Butterfly Love has been so involved. I appreciate that, Butterfly Love. Follow me, lady.
Yeah, Butterfly Love.
9 a.m. tomorrow.
Yo, and speaking of, let's get into a little bit of music real quick before we get out of here. What you working right now, man?
Grow James. We trying to go. We don't waste my time. Usher and LMA.
Man, that's my
her record slide.
Yeah,
we got a Childish Gambino record out there. So yeah, we getting it popping over there at your station.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out WHUR. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. That's good, man. I'm super excited, man. I really do appreciate your time this evening, brother. I've definitely learned a lot, and I'm hoping everybody out there who's been watching has learned a lot, and for those who will watch later, will learn some more.
Yeah, man, we can do this, man. We need to continue to share it, man. And it's incumbent upon guys like us that look like us, because people that look like us are more receptive to it, and that's what actually kind of inspired me to teach, because I want to share the practice with people who look like me.
Bet. Well, you already know, man. I think I'm gonna jump on there tomorrow and hang out with y'all.
9 a.m. EST. Bring your mat.
Yeah.
Hey, you cook too, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Have you done a live joint with some of your vegan cuisine, a live cooking joint?
Man, you haven't seen Chef It Up?
Okay, I got it. Right,
don't make me start singing up in here, man.
You got to tag me on the next one.
All right.
Or maybe coming up in my feed, because man, I mean, I'm always looking for, as I'm getting older, I'm kind of wanting to learn how to cook a little bit more.
Bet, I got you, man. Last night for Cinco de Mayo, I made some bomb tacos, man.
What was it?
Oh,
what did you use for the meat substitute? Tofu?
No. I used a wheat protein, a little seitan.
Okay. Oh, seitan. Okay.
Yeah, and Trader Joe's has this brand new chickenless flavored seasoning with just turmeric and things. And it makes everything taste just like chicken, bro.
Butterfly Love say sing the song.
You gotta go and well, just scroll down in my stories and stuff. I want to get this ain't about me. This about you. You know what I mean?
All right.
But that's what's up. Yeah, yo, the next joint. Oh, what's up, Cassandra? Next joint that I drop, I'll make sure I tag you, bro. And I'll be more than happy to shoot you over some recipes, man.
I appreciate that, bro.
That's what's up, man. Well, hey, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Dope Chats with Stretch, that's me. Again, my guest tonight, Akil Taffe, Yogi, just doing this thing.
Thanks for having me.
Just trying to make y'all
peace, y'all.
Yeah, just trying to make y'all be better in your lives, man. So thank y'all again. And Akil, before you go, one more time, man, tell them where they can find you.
Right here, Conscious Crusade, Facebook and IG. Yep.
Word up. Thank y'all again.
IG.
Y'all have a wonderful night. We'll do this again. I'll see y'all next week. And thanks again, Akil.
Yep. Thank you, bro.
All right. Peace, brother. Peace.